How being a ball kid at PH Women's Open lit a fire for a young Pinay player. Manila, for 13-year-old Olivia Primavera, being a ball kid at the inaugural Philippine Women's Open motivated her to keep pursuing tennis and chasing her dreams, just like the country's premier tennis player, Alex Ila. Primavera was one of the ball kids, or the young ones on court retrieving the balls during matches, at the country's first ever WTA 125 tournament last month. She was assigned as a ball kid in all 3 matches of hometown Bet Ila, as well as some matches of WTA number 72 player Donna Vekic, and Colombia's Camila Osorio, the eventual champion of the Philippine Women's Open singles tournament. Watching them, it gives me like a magical feeling. I get really excited and stuff. So I try to apply their skills, my game, the skills that are in my abilities, Primavera told ABS-CBN News last Friday. When I saw Alex, I got more inspired. And then now I see, because before I didn't really see a lot of tennis players. And now I can see so many, all of the ball kids, most of them, they play tennis. So I think Alex also inspired some of them to do that too, she added. Primavera said she found out about the ball kid applications through her mom. Being a tennis player herself, the 13-year-old could not pass up the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I asked my parents and I actually had to create a tennis resume. So basically I just compiled all of my videos and stuff and my pictures, she shared. I didn't actually think I was going to be a ball kid. I thought I wasn't going to pass because sometimes I'm not as fast as other people. But actually they accepted me right after the screening. And I was I was jumping up and down. I was so happy, the 13-year-old said. Primavera said it was a really different experience being a ball kid, especially since they had to go through a rigorous training ahead of the historic tournament. Actually, sometimes I'm not really watching the players as much because when you're a ball kid, your eyes is more on the ball than the actual player. So you just go back and forth, she said. But when I do get the chance to watch them from the back, I can see the skill they really have. It's effortless. So I want to try to apply that to my game in the court also, Primavera added. When asked what's her biggest takeaway from the tournament, the 13-year-old said it's the opportunity to be part of a historic moment. I'm glad I'm making kind of history. And I can see that Filipino players have really evolved. They paved the way for this tournament to come here to the Philippines, she shared. I think that inspires me to keep pushing myself to play tennis, because it makes me happy. It's not just a sport. It's it makes me happy, Primavera said. After her ball kid duties, the 13-year-old is looking forward to getting back into action, equipped with all the learning and inspiration she got from the inaugural tournament. I think I'll be able to apply a lot of, the skills I saw here. I can see that sometimes if you just, get your mind into it, you can still, push through, Primavera said. I would like to achieve, when I grow up, I really want to try to play in a tournament like this, or at least qualify, as a local wild card, because it seems like a really fun thing to do. I think I want to inspire people like Alex inspires others, how other Filipina or even other female or male tennis players inspire their own country or their own people, she added. I was small enough that the oversized visor slid down over my eyes, and my shoes squeaked louder than my footsteps on the court. I wasn't a player yet, not officially. I was a ball kid at the PH Women's Open, one of many children in matching uniforms, trained to be invisible, efficient, and silent. But inside me, something loud was waking up. The sun had barely risen when we lined up along the courts, the air already heavy with heat and anticipation. The grass, trimmed and perfect, looked different from the public courts I knew. This was sacred ground. I could feel it in the way everyone moved with purpose, in the hush that fell just before a serve, in the sharp crack of the racket that echoed like punctuation marks in the morning. My job was simple: chase the ball, return it quickly, don't mess up. But every time I rolled a tennis ball into my palm, it felt like I was holding a secret. The fuzz was warm from the sun and the rallies. It carried the energy of the point that had just been played: power, precision, intention. I wondered what it would feel like to be the one who sent it flying. From my spot at the back of the court, I watched the women who competed in the PH Women's Open. They were strong, composed, and fearless. Their ponytails swung with each forehand, their faces calm even when the rallies grew brutal. I noticed how they bounced the ball before serving, how they adjusted their grip when pressure mounted, how they never apologized for hitting hard. They belonged there. And for the first time, I wondered if I could too. Being a Pinay in sports often means being told, sometimes gently, sometimes not, that you should be practical. That sports are hobbies, not futures. That discipline is more important than dreams. I didn't have the words for it yet, but standing on that court, I felt myself pushing back against those limits. I saw women who looked like me, spoke like me, carried themselves with the same quiet fire I recognized at home. They weren't just athletes. They were proof. Between points, I caught fragments of conversation from the stands. Coaches analyzing strategy. Parents cheering softly. Young girls pointing excitedly when a rally stretched long. I wondered if any of them felt the same tug in their chest that I did, the feeling that something inside you has just found its direction. One moment stayed with me more than the rest. A player had just lost a tough point. The crowd murmured. I ran to retrieve the ball that had rolled near the net. As I handed it to her, our eyes met for half a second. She smiled, not big or dramatic, just a quick, tired smile, and nodded. It felt like a passing of energy, as if she was saying, "Stay close to this. It's worth it." That day, I learned that tennis is not just about winning points. It's about resilience, the way players reset after every mistake. It's about respect, the quiet handshake at the net after a battle. It's about courage, the willingness to step onto the court knowing you will be tested. These lessons settled into me long before I ever held a racket in competition. When my shift ended, I sat at the edge of the court, legs dusty, arms tired, heart racing. The matches continued, but something had already changed. I replayed the rallies in my mind, mimicked swings in the air, imagined my feet moving with purpose instead of hesitation. I didn't just want to watch anymore. I wanted to train. I wanted to belong on the other side of the net. Years later, when practices felt endless and losses felt personal, I often thought back to that day. To the heat, the squeaking shoes, the weight of a tennis ball in my hand. When self-doubt crept in, I remembered the women of the PH Women's Open, how they stood tall under pressure, how they claimed space without apology. I reminded myself that my fire was lit early, sparked not by trophies or rankings, but by proximity to possibility.